Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about running backs that you need to draft before they break out in the 2023 fantasy football season. But before we can get in depth into 3 breakout running backs, I would like to ask that if you guys are new to the channel and you do end up enjoying today's video, that you please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And while you're down there, whether you are new to the channel or not, please make sure that you do leave a like on today's video. It would help me out a ton. If you want to follow me on Twitter, please do so at NotoriousFantasy. So without further ado, let's get into 3 running backs that you need to draft prior to them breaking out in 2023 fantasy football. We begin at number 1 with Dameon Pierce, running back of the Houston Texans, current underdog ADP running back 21 at pick 67.6. Now, if you guys have followed my YouTube channel over the last year, you would have known that last season I was all in on Dameon Pierce ever since the 2022 NFL Draft. When he was selected to the Houston Texans, I was the commander of the Dameon Pierce hype train. He finished the year as the running back 27.5 PPR, tied with Tyler Algier, and the running back 23.5 PPR points per game. Now, he continued to rise up and up draft boards as we got close to late August and early September. So for some people, they might have felt a little bit burned by Dameon Pierce, but ultimately for me, as a rookie on a team that was as bad as the Houston Texans, Dameon Pierce basically did everything he could to have a good season. He played in 13 games last year in 2022, having 220 carries, 16.9 per game, ranking 13th at running back, 939 rushing yards, 72.2 per game, ranking 16th, 39 targets, 3 per game, 30th, 30 receptions, 2.3 per game, 27th, 165 receiving yards, 42nd, and 5 total touchdowns, 31st at running back. And again, this was all done on a Houston Texans team that was a flaming pile of dog shit. Davis Money Mills was awful. This team could not move the ball down the field, and the sole bright spot of this offense was Dameon Pierce, because when Dameon Pierce touched the ball, you thought, hey, maybe this guy can rip one down the field and score a touchdown. And again, he had these great stats with an offensive line that wasn't the greatest. Now, do I expect the Houston Texans to go from a not-so-hot offensive line to one of the best offensive lines in the NFL? No, but I do think they should get better. Dameon Pierce had a 35.9 run block rating, according to Player Profiler, ranking 63rd at running back. So, as long as the offensive line gets slightly better, Dameon Pierce should have no issue dominating in fantasy football this season. 718 yards created, 55.2 per game, 15th, and 68 evaded tackles, 5.2 per game, number 1. This is a team that did not really do anything to address the running back position. Going into the 2023 NFL Draft, I'll be honest, I was a little bit worried. I thought, hey, maybe this team could draft a running back that might end up kind of screwing over Dameon Pierce. But all the Texans did was bring in Devin Singletary. And what we've seen out of Devin Singletary in Buffalo is that he is nothing but a running back too. He is not that guy. He has been given the opportunity to be the guy in an offense that is as high-powered as the Buffalo Bills, that has a pretty solid offensive line, and the guy didn't do diddly squat with it. So I think now in Houston with Dameon Pierce and Devin Singletary, it is very clear, crystal clear, that Dameon Pierce is the running back 1, the workhorse running back in this system. They draft CJ Stroud, which is, again, levels above a guy like Davis Mills. They bring in a new head coach who isn't a dumbass like Lovie Smith. I am incredibly excited about the upside of Dameon Pierce. I think if this guy plays 17 games this year, he could easily smash as a top 15, 16-ish running back. Again, he's coming off the board at running back number 21. This was a guy that saw all of that hype going into last season, had a decent year, and now people are drafting him at running back 21 when he is in a significantly better situation. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to figure out that Dameon Pierce is a good player on an offense that is trending upwards, and his ADP is incredibly reasonable. To me, he is close to being a must-draft player. He has been one of my biggest targets in underdog drafts as of recently, and I genuinely believe this guy has top 12 upside. And again, when you bring in Devin Singletary, that guy's not going to catch passes. Devin Singletary isn't going to go out there and steal targets away from Dameon Pierce. Again, I don't think Dameon Pierce is Austin Eckler. He's not Christian McCaffrey. He's not going to get 8,000 targets, but could he get 50, 60 targets? That definitely helps him a ton in half or full PPR. Moving to running back number 2 that I think is going to break out in 2023. We got Isiah Pacheco, running back of the Kansas City Chiefs. Underdog ADP running back 25 at pick 83. He was the running back 35 last year in half PPR, tied with Donta Foreman, and he was the running back 46 in half PPR points per game, tied with Foreman as well as my guy James Robinson. 17 games played in 2022 with 11 starts. The fact that he only started 11 games definitely hurts his points per game number. He had 170 carries, 10 per game, ranking 33rd, 830 rushing yards, 48.8 per game, 24th, 14 targets, 13 receptions, 130 receiving yards, and 5 total touchdowns, 31st at running back. Now they bring back Jerick McKinnon, so the odds that Isiah Pacheco becomes this PPR reception monster, to me, would be pretty low. Now, could he get 30 targets next year? Definitely, right, in 2023, that wouldn't shock me, but I don't think he's magically going to be a 70, 80 target running back. As long as Jerick McKinnon stays healthy, assuming Jerick McKinnon stays in that role, and I don't think they would have brought him back for him to just kind of dissolve and not be in this offense, right? They're not going to just completely wipe him away. In terms of efficiency stats, Isiah Pacheco had 4.8 true yards per carry last season, 10th at running back, and 5.2 yards per touch, number 16. So the only real reason why I think anyone should be remotely nervous about Isiah Pacheco is Jerick McKinnon taking away that receiving work. That is really the only wart, the only blemish in Isiah Pacheco's profile, because we saw even in the Super Bowl, the biggest game of the year, in the fucking Super Bowl, they were given the rock to Isiah Pacheco, and he just wanted to rock in the end zone. Isiah Pacheco had an excellent rookie year. He came out of nowhere like an RKO from Randy Orton. This guy wasn't this super high NFL draft pick. This guy didn't come from Alabama. He didn't come from Georgia. He came from Rutgers University, Tony Soprano's favorite college, okay? Isiah Pacheco was an underdog, and he absolutely smashed in 2023 when he was given the opportunity. He is on the best offense in the National Football League. I don't really care what you say about, oh, his receivers are this. I don't like Kadarius Toney at all, but these receivers, they're mid. They're the best offense in the NFL because they have Patrick Mahomes as their starting quarterback. This is a team that is going to walk down the field with ease with the Kool-Aid man Andy Reid as their head coach. Isiah Pacheco is going to be gift-wrapped opportunities to score touchdowns. He only scored 5 touchdowns in 2023, or in 2022. This is a team that is going to score potentially the most points in the NFL. I believe they're the favorite to score the most points in the NFL. And again, even with this ragtag mishmash group of wide receivers, they are going to be able to put up a bunch of points every single game. Isiah Pacheco has that week winning upside. He really does. He has the potential to put your team on your back, Marshawn Lynch style, Darren Sharper, hold my dick. You know what I'm talking about? Isiah Pacheco is that good. Now again, if you expect him to magically catch a million passes, you are crazy. But at running back 25 in the best offense in the NFL, I'm taking that every single time and twice on Sunday. Moving now to the final must-draft breakout running back. We're going to be talking about Javonte Williams of the Denver Broncos, current underdog ADP running back 29 at pick 94.2. But before we talk about Javonte, I would like to give you guys a quick word from our friends and our sponsor of today's video, Underdog Fantasy. Now, if you are new to Underdog Fantasy, you don't know what it is, Underdog Fantasy is a best ball website / app. They are the best place to play best ball. If you don't know what best ball is, it's the best part about fantasy football. It's the draft, and that's it. You have your 18-round draft, and then after that, Underdog automatically sets your lineup every single week with the highest scores in your lineup. You don't have to worry about setting your lineup. You don't have to worry about trades because there's no trades. There's no in-season management, and there's no waivers. So you just get to do the draft, and you can come back at the end of the season and potentially win a boatload of money. Underdog Fantasy has the biggest best ball fantasy football contest ever. $25 to enter, 150 max entries, $3 million to first place, $15 million in total prizes. If you're thinking, Nick, I like this, but I want to, ease in, not $25 a draft. Well, they have the Chihuahua right now, $4 to enter, 25 max entries, $25,000 to first, and $250,000 in total prizes. They're going to drop the puppies as well in the future, $5 to enter, typically a $1 million prize pool. So make sure you guys check that out. I love drafting on Underdog, and there are going to be Underdog draft streams coming up very, very shortly. Back on into things, though. Make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button down below if you have enjoyed, as well as that like button. Javonte Williams, again, coming off the board on Underdog, running back 29 at pick 94.2. Now I know why everyone is worried about Javonte Williams. He's coming off that injury, and they bring in Samaje Perine. Now, Samaje Perine, his whole career, has been a backup running back, and he was good as a backup running back last season. So I don't want to say that Samaje Perine is some garbage can running back, right? Because he's not that. He's not just some random running back like Tajay Spears, who's the backup for Derrick Henry, right? He's not some rando, right? He's going to get touches, and I'm not going to deny that. But I think when you look at the player Javonte Williams was coming out of college, when you look at the situation he's in right now in a what should be upgraded Denver Broncos offense last year, everyone and their mother was glazing. They were doing tricks on the metaphorical penis of the Denver Broncos, right? Everyone loved Russell Wilson. They loved Courtland Sutton. They loved Jerry Jeudy. They love Javonte Williams. And I get it because Russell Wilson showed up. They have Nathaniel Hackett. This is going to be great. And then we figured very soon that this was the opposite of Tony the Tiger's, their great slogan. It was the opposite. It was bad. They sucked. All right, they lose week 1 against Seattle. It was a close game, but after that, it was a complete and utter unmitigated disaster. They then ship off that stooge, Nathaniel Hackett, and they bring in Sean Payton, who should be the savior of this offense. Now, again, Russell Wilson might be washed, and I might look like an absolute fool, but at running back 29, when you have a guy that is as good as Javonte Williams, you would have to be crazy to not at least take the shot in one of your drafts, right? Now, I get it. If you're doing just one fantasy football draft, maybe you want to stay away from Javonte Williams, right? But if you're doing 5, 10, which you're probably doing a couple if you're watching a fantasy football video in June, or you're drafting on Underdog, you might as well take the shot at least a couple times on Javonte Williams. Because again, while he's coming off of that injury, it was incredibly early last season. He only played in 4 games. Now again, his stats were nothing incredible, right? Nothing to ejaculate in your mind over when you read the stats, right? Running back 84 last year, he got hurt, obviously. Running back 42 in points per game. He had 47 carries, 11.8 per game, number 69 at running back. Very nice. I like my wife. Shout out to Borat. 204 rushing yards, 51 per game, number 71. 22 targets, 5.5 per game, number 57. 16 receptions, 76 receiving yards, no touchdowns. Important to note, this man was averaging 5.5 targets per game, which is very, very high. And he, along with Dameon Pierce, have some underrated receiving kind of upside. Now, I don't think Dameon Pierce will get as many receptions as Javonte Williams, but I don't think a lot of people respect Dameon Pierce's pass-catching abilities, and no one really seems to be talking about Javonte Williams as a great pass catcher. Now, again, I'm never going to say that any of these guys are as good at pass catchers as guys like Kamara, guys like McCaffrey, Eckler, right? Because those are the upper echelon. They're the top shelf liqueur, right? But Javonte Williams can catch passes. So can Samaje Perine. But I think Javonte Williams, Again, he got hurt 4 weeks into the season. It wasn't like he got hurt in week 15 and you're like, damn, maybe he won't be good to go for week 1. Everything I've seen is that Javonte Williams is good to go. And again, while I have talked positively about Samaje Perine is not as good as Javonte Williams. He's not. If you look back into 2021, when he played 17 games, when he was in that two-headed backfield with Melvin Gordon III, he had 831 yards created, 6th at running back, 3.42 yards created per touch, 7th, 5 yards per touch, 18th, 32.9% juke rate, 8th, and 81 evaded tackles, 4.8 per game, number 6. It doesn't take Albert Einstein, a genius, to figure out that Javonte Williams is pretty underrated right now. And at ADP running back 29, all of the risk, Russell Wilson potentially being completely washed, Sean Payton not being able to fix this thing, right? Maybe he starts off slow. That's all baked into the ADP. He is no longer this upper echelon fantasy draft pick like the last 2 seasons. He is falling down draft boards. He is sinking like the fucking Titanic in draft boards. And now he is coming off the board at running back 29 at pick 94.2. He could be your running back 3. If you start drafting running backs early, maybe go bang, 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 triple running backs off the rip. He might be your running back 4. You're running back 4, and he has the skills of a top 10 running back. Why else would people have been on their knees sucking off Javonte Williams last year? And in his rookie year, people were ready to acclaim this guy as this upper echelon fantasy draft pick. As a rookie with Melvin Gordon. And that's when Melvin Gordon was good. Now it's Javonte Williams and Samaje Perine. Come on. Now again, I think Javonte Williams, out of all these guys, will probably get the most pushback from the comments. I think most people can easily see the path for Pierce. They can easily see the path for Pacheco on the Chiefs. But I think some people don't like Javonte Williams. In the past, where Javonte was going, he was a full fade. Michael Jordan fade away. I didn't want anything to do with him. But now he's coming at an extreme discount. You're like an extreme couponer getting this bastard at running back 29. So I'm beyond excited. I'm elated to get Javonte Williams where he's going. I've been picking him a little bit more recently. He has kind of just cemented himself in this spot. His ADP hasn't moved much, right? It's not like he was running back 35 and then people are like, ooh, let's keep drafting Javonte Williams. He's been around running back 29 all summer. And I think once it gets to like August and people realize, oh wow, Javonte is going to be the running back 1 on the Broncos, we're going to move him up. And then he's going to potentially finish inside of the top 24 at running back ADP. So with all that said, to wrap it in a bow, in conclusion, as I would write in an MLA formatted essay in high school, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought about these running backs. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Let me know down below in the comment section. I love you guys all so much. Hope you have a great guys' day. Make sure you check out Underdog Fantasy. Link in the video description. $100 first match deposit bonus, or up to $100 first match deposit bonus. You deposit, use promo code Notorious. You get up to an additional $100. You deposit $100, you get an additional $100. You deposit $50, an additional $50, $25, an additional $25. I love you guys all so much. Hope you have a great guys' day. And as always, good